This is Top 30.
Welcome to the show. I'm Richard Bacon.
And I'm Kristen Smith. We have 30 stories in 30 minutes, so let's get started. When it comes to shopping, some customers decide where to spend their money based on the store's return policy. But shoppers consider this a warning. Some customers have said they've been blocked from returning products, even when it's within the return window and even when they have a receipt. It turns out some major retailers are hiring a third-party company called Retail Equation to identify return fraud and limit the amount of merchandise certain customers can return. It's reportedly been hired by prominent brands like Best Buy, Home Depot, JCPenney, Sephora, and Victoria's Secret. But some customers think they're being unfairly targeted. Jake Zakar told the Wall Street Journal he tried to return 3 phone cases he had bought for his sons at Best Buy, only to find out he was banned from making returns for a year. So if you're planning on shopping at any of those stores, be aware your return could be rejected.
Let's go to the New York Stock Exchange for our Fox Business Minute with your friend and mine, Nicole Pedalides. Nicole, I hear there's a big announcement from Netflix.
That's right, Richard. Netflix is in the early stages of developing a news service the company hopes will be, quote, sharp and balanced. The streaming giant is said to be planning a weekly show to rival programs such as CBS's 60 Minutes and ABC's 2020. Zara is introducing augmented reality displays in an effort to attract millennials. The technology shows models wearing selected looks when a phone is held up to the sensor at the store, at which point customers will be able to shop for clothes with the tip of their finger. Is Fitbit's new fitness tracker its answer to Apple's smartwatch? Well, Fitbit Versa, geared toward a more casual audience and at $200, is actually cheaper than the latest generation of the Apple Watch.
And Nicole, I hear they have also come out with a kids-specific tracker.
That's right. The Fitbit Ace is designed for kids ages 8 and older. It tracks sleep, steps, and physical activity. The company's goal is to encourage children to stay active.
Good news. Nicole, on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, thank you.
Renowned scientist and visionary Stephen Hawking died on Wednesday at the age of 76.
I am very aware of the preciousness of time. Seize the moment. Act now.
Having suffered with a rare form of ALS for most of his life, the wheelchair-bound physicist was considered by many as one of the greatest minds ever. And the East Coast was slammed this week with their 3rd nor'easter storm in less than 2 weeks. Some places were dumped with more than 2 feet of snow, and winds reached nearly 70 miles per hour from Maine to Connecticut. Now, talk about the catch of the day. 68-year-old Sue Alcock was deep-sea fishing with her son in Australia when she reeled in this massive 130-pound monster of a fish. That thing is bigger than she is.
March Madness is underway, and the college basketball tournament is having a multi-billion-dollar impact on American productivity. About 70 million people filled out a bracket last year, and many of them were involved in office and online pools. One survey found the 3-week tournament is the 3rd biggest distraction in the workplace, behind only texting and Facebook. And that distraction is hurting business. Research by Wallet Hub estimated companies lost $6.3 billion because of unproductive workers. But there is a silver lining for companies. 90% of the workers surveyed said an office pool during March Madness is good for employee morale. And that may even be higher at Warren Buffett's company. He's offering any employee that can get every team in the Sweet 16 correct $1 million a year for the rest of their life.
Welcome back to Top 30. The internet was created 29 years ago this week, and the person who invented it has some harsh words for what he says it has become. Tim Berners-Lee says the current internet is dominated by colossal platforms that basically control which ideas and opinions are seen and shared, instead of the blogs and small sites that used to be featured online. He calls out 2 platforms, Facebook and Google, and says they control which ideas and opinions are seen.
It's true. It's kind of true, isn't it? What he's saying is it wasn't like that a few years ago. He was saying a few years ago you had lots of multiple sites. You had he called it a lopsided archipelago of blogs and small sites that were competing with each other and sharing views. And that's become more consolidated now.
Yeah.
So if you take Facebook on its own, Facebook has over 1 billion users worldwide. Now, I know that Facebook uses algorithms, but nonetheless, It is their algorithm designed by them to determine what stories you see.
Because we see what we're exposed to the most, and pretty much all of us are on Facebook, and then of course something pops up and we click on that, and our time is monopolized by these sites.
He's absolutely definitely got a point. And he thinks it's possible to change it, but it sounds like a kind of dramatic uphill struggle. On now to a new study that reveals 1 in 5 Americans don't tell their spouse or partner how much their salary is.
Crazy. I was
quite a lot,
I was shocked when I saw these numbers. I kind of was in disbelief too. Like, really?
I guess it's not like a first date thing.
No,
definitely
definitely not.
off.
That would be weird. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know. That's kind of common knowledge. I mean, you don't need to give your social security number right away, but I mean, you need to say how much you make. Isn't that kind of a normal thing?
I think so. I mean, me and my wife have all our accounts are shared accounts. It's just a joint account. So there's no.
Me and my husband are the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the eve of getting married, a friend of mine who recently got divorced says he went, Rich, you need to buy a house now, put it in your mum and dad's name, just so she can't get the money when you split up. You know, that I do think some people who go into marriage just skeptically want to keep money separate.
Yeah,
like
and
some people do that.
Their separate accounts. I mean, it's very common. A ton of my friends do it that way, and you got to do what's best for you. Okay, here's a story about a major mix-up for a university, and I don't know how this stuff happens. About 11,000 high school seniors thought they were accepted to the University of Colorado, Colorado Springs, after receiving a congratulatory email. But the school then informed them it was all a mistake, saying they are still reviewing applications and they regretted the miscommunication.
Yeah. This is probably partly the fault of Tim Berners-Lee's internet. Someone's hit some button on a computer and it's all been shot out there a little bit too early.
Yeah, in fact, the university said it's as a result of filing the emails into the system. Apparently, there was a glitch somewhere along the... Apparently, filing emails into a system is tricky.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's a tricky one. I mean, it's a sad story in the sense that you think you've been accepted, you celebrate, you tell your parents, you go out for dinner, and then you go,
It's the biggest buzzkill in the world. I mean, it's a big deal when you get accepted to college. I can't imagine such a letdown.
But the upside for some students is that, you know, they will get to celebrate twice.
Yeah, that's good. I like your glass half full approach.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Top 30 will be right back. Welcome back to Top 30. 1 month after a gunman killed 17 people at a Florida high school, students across the country walked out of school. Hundreds of thousands of students participated in more than 2,800 demonstrations in all 50 states. The move was an effort to pressure elected officials to pass gun control laws. The walkouts lasted 17 minutes, 1 for each person killed. That's a moving thing. Yeah. It's a powerful thing.
All over the country. I think one of the most powerful things is seeing the many students with their hands up with the words, "Don't shoot." Powerful images.
I hope this changes things. You know, you think about Vietnam. Young people protesting 50 years ago changed the country's attitude to Vietnam. What you hope with a movement is that it changes enough of public opinion to impact policy.
Yeah, absolutely. More walkouts are planned as well for April 20th. And then later this month, March 24th, there's a big march planned as well. So, you know, it is good to see the collective, the unity, you know, and that it's not one march, it's not 2 marches. There are several events happening in which young people are taking a stand and hoping to send a message to our elected officials that gun laws, stricter gun laws need to be in place.
Exactly. And also, there's so many of these students taking part that actually, as long as they don't change their minds as they get older, this is the next generation of people, of citizens, and of politicians and parents. And if there's enough of them in the future, gun laws will change.
That's a really good point. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think this story is going to get a lot of people talking as well. United Airlines is apologizing for the death of a dog on one of its flights. A family says a flight attendant forced them to put the carrier holding the pet in the overhead storage bin. When they arrived in New York, their French bulldog, Coquito, was dead. Witness accounts are pretty dramatic. People saying that this dog owner was crying on the floor.
It doesn't seem like a great idea to put a dog in an overhead bin.
Yeah, how does this happen? She did have several kids. She seemed to be busy, but still...
Quite a lot of animals also die in cargo holds as well, don't they?
Yeah.
I don't know, because it's not a service animal. Normally the dogs go in the cargo hold, or animals go in the cargo hold. United Airlines have not had a good run. 18 animals died on their planes in 2017.
Right.
Although, to be fair to them, they do transport more animals than any other airline.
Yeah.
So therefore, they're likely to have more animal deaths.
Makes sense. What I do love about how United Airlines is handling this is they are taking full responsibility. They released a very compassionate statement.
It's definitely not United Airlines policy to put an animal in an overhead compartment and let it die.
Exactly. I think this was, this particular situation. It was an incident where they are deeply regretful.
Yeah, we are thoroughly investigating what occurred to prevent this from ever happening again.
It's good to see that they are thoroughly investigating, and I hope the numbers decrease a little bit, go in the direction we all want to see.
It is obviously ridiculous to put a living animal in an overhead compartment. Right. And I guess the one silver lining is it's very hard to imagine this really ever happening again.
Yeah, and hopefully it doesn't.
Yeah. All right. Top 30, we'll be right back.
In today's Hometown Stories from Fox 10 Phoenix, Robert Thornton started the nonprofit Cloud Covered Streets by handing out food and supplies to the homeless. That's when he came up with another way to help, a mobile shower and laundry unit.
They say, how can I go and get a job application looking like this,
A laptop and printer will also be on board so Robert can help with resume writing. He hopes the community will make this idea a reality through the project's GoFundMe page. Our next story from Fox 13 Tampa Bay. The mission of the McDonald Training Center in Tampa is set to empower people with disabilities. The center does this through skills training, employment services, and art. Class members are provided with materials and then given the freedom to express themselves as artists. The art is then put on display on campus or more recently at the Gasparilla Arts Festival, where the class sold nearly $7,000, with half going to the artists and the rest back to the program. Our final story from Fox 2 Detroit. Melissa Butler's bold vegan lipstick was rejected on Shark Tank, but Target, on the other hand, was very impressed. But without an investment from the Sharks, Melissa didn't know how she'd fulfill the orders. Well, that's when she found the program Entrepreneurs of Color, an offshoot of the Detroit Development Fund, which provides loans for small businesses.
If you believe strongly in your purpose and your passion, don't let anything get in your way.
Thanks to the program, the Lip Bar is on shelves now. Welcome back to Top 30. It's time for this week's Page 6 Fix with Carlos Greer. Carlos, I hear you have the inside scoop on Khloe Kardashian's baby shower.
Well, Kristen, it was a baby shower to top all baby showers. Not to be outdone by her sisters, Khloe Kardashian's baby shower was held at the chic Hotel Bel Air with over-the-top decor, including tons of pink balloons and flowers. The guest list, of course, included sisters Kim, Kylie, Kourtney, mom Kris Jenner, and even Atlanta housewife Kim Zolciak. But she's not the only one feeling the love. You remember when Sally Field publicly tried to set up her son with Olympian Adam Rippon on social media? Well, the two finally met in person. Her son Sam ran into him at the Human Rights Campaign and posted a pic with the Olympian with the caption, "Thanks, Mom." And in other news, it appears that Kathy Griffin is ready to make her big comeback. It's hard to believe it's been about 9 months since her controversial photo with the severed head. But Griffin said, "I'm dipping my toes into touring again." She has upcoming shows at Carnegie Hall and Washington's Kennedy Center. And that's this week's Page 6. See you next time.
Great stuff. Thanks, Carlos. And for more news and gossip, watch Page 6 TV weekdays. Check your local listings. Well, here's a great story. Army vets sometimes have a hard time adjusting to life outside the military, but there's a new program easing the stress for them. Dog Tags and Tails is a nonprofit out of Maryland that pairs vets with companion pets. 23-year Army vet Ambrose Cobain says of his companion dog, "I have problems with nightmares and other issues with PTSD, and the dogs are smart enough they can trigger on those things. They can see if I'm suffering, and she kind of keeps me distracted from going to bad places." The dogs are free to the veterans, and the nonprofit's president says these people have sacrificed their lives for us, and it's our job to step up and do what's needed for them. I love it. Sounds to me like both the dogs and the vets are benefiting.
It does, yeah. Yeah, it sounds like a great thing.
Well, there are two morbid pieces of hip-hop history, and they're now for sale. The cars that the Notorious B.I.G. and Tupac Shakur were shot in are being sold by the same company. Gary Zanette is the owner of Moments in Time, who says he deals in original historical materials. Tupac was killed in a BMW 7 Series that has since been restored. The bullet holes in the doors are no longer visible. Its asking price is $1.5 million. Biggie was fatally wounded in a GMC Suburban. In a strange twist, the car was purchased by a family who drove it for years without any idea of its history until they were contacted by the LAPD. Moments in Time says a bullet hole is visible in one of the seatbelts. They're asking for $750,000. By the way, Zinette denies that he's disrespecting or exploiting the families of either rapper, but has been criticized for doing just that.
I made a documentary once about the car that Princess Diana died in.
Really?
And there was someone who was trying to sell parts of it illegally.
Yeah.
And I had to wear a wire to entrap him and catch him doing this illegally.
Oh my gosh, wow.
But it was astonishing to me then, as it is now with this story, that anyone would actually want to buy these things or pay a premium for them.
Yeah.
But, you know, each to their own.
Yeah.
Now, with house prices outpacing wage growth, many millennials are finding it difficult to save enough money to cover the down payment on a house. But this, in turn, creates a dilemma for parents. Should you help your child buy a home? Experts say it depends on your financial situation. Despite your best intentions, it may be a bad idea to help your kid with the down payment if it means sacrificing your retirement savings, especially if you're a middle-income earner. But it may be a good idea if you look at it as an investment. If you loan the money to your kids, you can probably give them a lower interest rate than a bank would, and you may see more of a financial return than through the bond market alone. But as always, it's never a bad idea to consult a financial professional before making a decision either way.
When we're stressed, we don't enjoy what we're eating. And studies have proven that eating outdoors reduces stress, which is why we've got today's top 30 solution, a portable grill and cooler bag at a special 67% discount. This mini charcoal grill is perfect for families looking to get outside more. It's also an insulated cooler bag, so you can remove the grill portion and keep your drinks and condiments cold too. This lightweight cooler bag and pop-up grill has an adjustable strap that makes it easy to take with you on every adventure. The portable grill and cooler bag retails for $59.99. But today you can buy it for just $19.99. That's a 67% discount. And you can get this right now at luluway.com while they last. Oprah is known for her relatable personality, but it turns out there's something in her home that, well, only she could have. Jason Matheson, host of The Jason Show on Fox 9 in Minneapolis, has more. Jason?
Hey, Kristen. Well, as I'm sure you have heard or seen, Oprah Winfrey is all over the place because she's out promoting her new film, A Wrinkle in Time. Well, she and her co-stars were just on James Corden sitting on the couch, and James said, hey, what's the weirdest thing that you learned about Oprah? And her co-stars revealed that Oprah had a bathtub molded in her shape. Reese's response was, well, it's Oprah. Yes, that's right. We need to start a new segment called Oh, Oprah. Kristen?
Hey, I would watch that segment. Thanks, Jason.
March is Women's History Month, so we're highlighting some of the greatest women in Canadian history. Have you heard of Rose Fortune? Born to enslaved parents in Virginia, they emigrated to Canada when she was 10, and Rose would go on to start 2 lucrative businesses, one of which was implementing a wake-up call service to act as an alarm clock for people at the Nova Scotia inns that might otherwise miss their ships. But she also created and enforced unofficial curfews in Annapolis Royal, making her the first unofficial policewoman in Canada. Author Lucy Maud Montgomery is arguably Canada's most read author, having penned Anne of Green Gables, along with at least 20 other novels and 500 short stories. And Doris Anderson is often described as the Canadian face of feminism. For years, she was an editor of the Canadian women's lifestyle magazine Chatelaine. Throughout her 86 years, Anderson fought hard for women's equality and is said to have boosted the Canadian feminist revolution. These are all women I think any country would be proud of.
Black Panther star Michael B. Jordan has volunteered to pay for a 17-year-old girl to have her retainer replaced because it was his fault it broke. Well, sort of. It all started with this post on Tumblr, in which a dentist recalled having a patient who snapped her retainer because she clenched her teeth so hard during a scene in Black Panther, the scene where Jordan has his shirt off. But here's where the whole thing gets hilarious. A girl named Sophia Robb saw the post and responded on Twitter saying, wait, that girl is me. Jordan ended up following her on Twitter, and as if that weren't enough, he tweeted at her saying, "Since I feel partly responsible for breaking your retainers, let me know if I can replace them." Sophia finds the whole thing funny, but the attention's overwhelming, and she said, "Now I'm just worried that I'll never say anything as funny as that story." Well, probably not, but it sure was a good one.
It was. Here is what's coming up on the next show. Researchers have studied Americans in hundreds of cities, and they believe they found the happiest place in America. And the story of a 9-year-old girl who set up an elaborate scavenger hunt so that she could ask her stepfather a very important question. Top 30 also covers more of the day's stories live on Facebook daily, 9:30 Pacific, 12:30 Eastern. It's all coming up on the next Top 30.